to go over situations where there's a perfectly inelastic demand curve and a perfectly elastic supply curve. In these situations, the consumers are going to bear 100% of the tax. So a lot of the problems I think we're having with conceptually is when is the tax split, when is it not split. The tax is never split if there's a perfect situation. Remember, think of it this way. A perfect score on a quiz, on an exam, is 100%. So if there's a perfectly inelastic or perfectly elastic curve, 100% of the tax will fall on one of the curves. If we think about it logically, conceptually, if the demand curve is perfectly inelastic and consumers are willing to pay any price and quantity doesn't change, well then they'll bear 100% of the tax. Think about it that way. Price doesn't matter then. In a perfectly elastic supply curve, what we're saying here is if there's a change of price of 1 cent, if suppliers get 1 cent less to produce this good, supply goes away. So obviously they can't bear any of the burden. So in both cases, just think about it big picture conceptually, the consumers are going to bear 100% of the burden. So I know that. Here I don't need to go to the supply curve. So this is the price at equilibrium, and this is the price producers are going to receive. Here's my price consumers pay. This is going to be my tax. So this is my tax revenue. And here's my quantity with tax. Quantity is not going to change because consumers are still going to buy the same amount regardless of price. Producers don't have to bear any of the burden, so there's going to be no change in quantity, no deadweight loss. Here, I know producers can't bear any of the tax, so again I have to go to the demand curve. So this is the price consumers pay. At this price on the demand curve, this becomes my tax quantity, which means I'm missing out of all of this producer, there is actually no producer surplus, all this consumer surplus. So this becomes deadweight loss. Here's my tax revenue. So in both cases, 100% of the tax is going to fall on the consumers. Here because demand is perfectly inelastic, here because supply is perfectly elastic.